Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the AFC South Roundtable. Wow, I got a reverb from somebody out there. I don't know where it's from.
Not me.
But anyway, I am your obviously midlife crisis Titans fan who has lost his bet to the glorious locked southeast of me, and now I have to wear the Ethan Hawke goatee. So go me. We are delighted to have you here. We, of course, have Carlos celebrating his massive win over the Twins today in his Astros gear.
Let's go.
Rios,
built for October.
Obviously built for October, even though he doesn't have a single pumpkin on him. And we have Dallas Clark.
Yeah, we know of.
Tied in, but I don't know. He's the only reason anybody watches this show. He draws all the women to it. So don't tell your girlfriend. Anyway, we're happy to have you guys on, and we're going to talk about our games and stuff real quick. But we wanted to get something out there today. Our good friend and producer, Dan Harris, has passed away. Dan was the guy that let this dumb shit do a podcast. Dan was the guy that helped me meet everybody that I'm on with now. Dan is the guy that helped me learn how to do it at my own pace, never belittled me or anything. And sucks. He's gone. But Dan, thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the Let's Talk Sports Network. Thank you for taking a chance on us all, and thanks for bringing us all together. If anybody would like to add anything to that, they most certainly can.
I was the last one added to the show. I just recently had met Dan, so I didn't get to know him nearly as long as you guys did, but I'm thankful for him, like you said, taking the chance on me, getting us all together. I definitely wouldn't be looking forward to every Tuesday like I do without him, and being a part of such a great network. So I'm grateful for his addition to all of us together, and sad to see that we're going to be missing him on these future shows.
You're here.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I do want to say, so I've said the story countless amount of times because it's how it happened. I think when we were first starting out, before we were starting on our, we were trying to figure out what YouTube was or whatever, how to put our show on YouTube and whatnot, because we had been doing it on Spotify, on Apple here for a little while, and we just wanted to get a bigger audience or whatnot. So we started going on YouTube, and we would share our links on Twitter or whatever. And I don't know where I got a message from Dan, and I always say this funny story. It's like I thought it was somebody I thought it was a weirdo or something when I got that message. I was like, hey, you want to be on my network? I'm like, what? And so after a while, I checked out the what he was about or whatever, the links that he. And I was like, wow, this is legit. And so suddenly, I don't know, I just he gave us a chance when we had just 150 followers on Twitter or whatever. And it was one of those things where he just kind of gave you a voice, a platform, somewhere to share your show. And we met so many good people through it, like Bodkins, you, Sam,
You said good people. I don't know why Bodkins is in that list.
He's in there. Bodkins, Because we got to make fun of him. I'm Nick Bodkins. It says it on my shirt. There's a picture of me in it.
I talk to other podcasters with my podcast shirt on.
I'm Nick Bodkins.
Hey, you guys are podcasters. I'm a podcaster too.
Go Packers, Go Packers. Nick Bodkins, Anyway, that's how he gets out of a ticket. He shows his T-shirt. Says, "Do you know who just pulled over? Nick Bodkins. I like
how it turned to Timmy."
It's sorry, we have to deviate from.
No, it's fine.
And so
once you put a quarter in the jukebox, the song's got to play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, if Creed comes on, Creed comes on.
Yeah, that's
Creed comes on without water open.
Just don't make eye contact. Just don't make
under the sunlight. Anyway, sorry. Now you got me in a Creed motion. Anyway, so,
downing Dollaritas.
And so then,
intended.
Yeah. Then Dan started kind of, expanding our network to you guys, and then to Tanner, which by the way made an amazing video earlier today.
We did.
Doing a tribute to Dan. So please check that out. Sam, is there a way you can put the link later on in the comment section?
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll take care of it.
Yeah, it's a great tribute. And I'm sure there's going to be some tribute shows going on. I know we're going to do one for Just Fans podcast, just to talk a little bit about Dan or whatnot once we have our show.
Let me know what night you're doing it. I'd love to.
Yeah, no, for sure. And we're just going to have people. It's a straight up Dan Harris show and all that.
Absolutely.
It's something I've been planning on, but anyway. So going back to that, dude, is the fact that he gave a lot of us a chance to have a voice, and Tanner said he's like, and he kind of forked the bill for everybody. He paid it with a StreamYard, out of his own pocket, and gave people a voice. He made people feel comfortable talking talking about sports. There's people that have like bad social anxiety, and they were still able to go on and talk because of Dan, and they got better because of Dan. He cared about your opinion, whether it was sports related or not. He cared about you. He would listen to you. I can name you countless amount of times when I would text him back and forth whenever I was feeling down about something. He'd respond. One night my aunt got sick or whatever, and so I was kind of bummed about it. You know what he did? He sent me a care package for her or whatnot. He didn't even know her. He just sent her a care package because that's the kind of person Dan was. He was unselfish. He cared about people, and I hope he knew that he was loved. Like before he departed. Like I just hope that he knew that he was loved by not just us, but by those that he was close to. He had a family, and that's what he built. He built a family.
Yes, he did.
That and eternal friendships that won't go away. One of the coolest things is, Sam, I get to meet you this week. I didn't think I was ever going to do that, and I just wish he would have been alive to see that.
Yeah, all the pictures.
So yeah,
no,
we love you, dude.
Yep, I hear you, man, all the way. I think it was great. He introduces us all, and we haven't met any there, but I think all of us were instantly like connected by our fandom, by our humor, by how we run our podcast, pretty much like we're having beers at a bar, at a table. Right. Is how I describe it, and how quickly when we were talking about problems with the network, that Dallas offered up his StreamYard, that you offered up your StreamYard.
Exactly.
It's good. It's good character. Good character, people. But anyway, we miss you, Dan. We miss you always.
Yep.
But anyway, so this is going to be really lame because I have to just roll into something else.
Oh, you're good. The transition is a killer.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I know. I'm just going to.
You know who sucks? The Cowboys. That's what sucks. Everybody can agree. The Cowboys suck.
No one was more happy.
They lost against the 49ers badly this weekend.
So I know terrible 49ers fans and I know terrible Cowboys fans, and I'm like, who do I hate more?
And why is it the Cowboys?
It's the Cowboys. You're right. It is the Cowboys. Probably because there's all these Southern yokels.
No, I'm sorry. We couldn't. Were you trying to say something, dude? We couldn't hear you at all.
Oh yeah, we can.
Is that better? You guys hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So it reminds me of last year when I was listening to somebody talking about after the DeMar Hamlin injury, like right after it happened, Joe Buck's nearly in tears on the broadcast, and like we're gonna go real quick from our sponsor, take a moment away from the field, and all of a sudden it comes on that annoying ass like Whopper.
Oh my God!
What a terrible
killer!
Just do anything. Do anything. Right. Just show faraway shots of the stadium. Don't do that.
Anything but a Whopper commercial.
Stop the commercial. Whopper. That's how I want it. Like at my funeral, just go. This is what Sam wanted us to do. Whopper.
I was gonna say something. I'm like, here, put a Titan shirt on him so they can let him down one last time.
Yeah, that's right. You make just Big Jeff just throw my coffin over a cliff. Just go ahead, let me down one more time. Anyway, so we're taking a little psychology thing here. Okay, This is going to sound a little awkward, but it's supposed to help you figure out something about yourself and how you want yourself projected. And this is going to sound utterly ridiculous, and I understand it. If you were a pastry, what would you be? What would you be?
What in the actual fuck?
I'm telling you. I tried it out. It's really interesting.
Sam be like, if you were a tortilla, which one would you be?
Flour.
Flour or corn?
Flour tortilla.
The only correct answer is
Flour
corn.
tortilla.
Even my dog's annoyed by you now, Sam.
I'm a cinnamon roll. You know what I mean?
You look like a cinnamon roll.
Yeah, all right. Okay, look, I'm just going to keep going. You guys are not going to take it seriously. Anyway, so game recap. Mr. Dallas, I alluded all my time to you, sir. Say all you want.
Oh man, I mean, it was definitely a good win for the Colts. You got to be happy with it, but at what cost? I mean, we lost Anthony Richardson. You might hear my voice right now. I was furious on Sunday. I was screaming at the top of my lungs. My neighbor probably thought me and my girlfriend were having some sort of fisticuffs in the house. But I was upset, man. I mean, we had Anthony Richardson on a designed run. First of all, take that injury. And after Anthony Richardson gets hurt, Zach Moss gets 180 damn yards. Jonathan Taylor got 5-6 carries throughout the whole game. Why do we give him $42 million to give him 6 carries the next game? We could have paid him next week. We could have paid him at the end of the season. I knew we were going to have a snap count on him, but I didn't think it was going to be like that. I thought Jonathan Taylor, how well Zach Moss has been playing, would try to alleviate the pressure from Anthony Richardson, and we just were not doing that. And as soon as Anthony Richardson went out of the game, our offense totally changed. We were a completely different team. Those first 2 or 3 drives with Richardson in the game, we really struggled. We weren't really moving the ball. Anthony Richardson wasn't running very well. We had a couple of handoffs to Zach Moss and Jonathan Taylor that went couple yards each, incomplete passes. We weren't looking good on offense, and I was starting to get worried, 5 minutes into the game, and then Anthony Richardson got hurt, and I was distraught. It took me about 10 minutes to even realize that we were starting to play well, because I was so upset about the Anthony Richardson injury.
It did not take me that long, I'll tell you that right now.
We're looking at a grade 3 AC joint sprain, which, if I remember correctly, was the ultimate demise of Andrew Luck in that one season. Now, I mean, to be out at least a month, and one of Anthony Richardson's biggest qualities was his throwing power. So what's his arm going to look like when he does come back? How long does it take him to get to 100% or close to 100%? We've effectively now, like I've been saying on this podcast week after week, not changing the way that we run our offense, not running smart football, have now put Anthony Richardson in a position where we may have potentially compromised how good his career could have been.
I thought of you immediately, Dallas, when they did that design run to the right with no protection. There was nobody out there.
Yeah.
There was nobody in front. There was nobody on his hip. He just ran out there. And there's Harold Landry, our defensive end. That's just like, okay. Like, cool. and I was sitting there like, I can I said I could hear Dallas from where I'm at. I also said, Will Minshew's in here, so we're about to lose the game because he has been a Titan destroyer. Even if we won the game, it was like he would still have 300 yards by the end of it. It's such a freaking headache. So I was like, well, here he comes. God help me. Him and Moss did what they had to do to win that game. My point, I will say this. There are some good things you can take away from this game as a Titans fan. Right? Nothing on defense. Defense was horrible. Somebody wrote an article, and he said it was the game of my bad. And constantly defend, my bad, bro. Linebackers in the wrong gap. Defensive end going the wrong way. Nobody getting pressure. It was just Christian Fulton showing his ass on national television. It was really bad. But I have to say, DeAndre Hopkins was getting yards. He was getting a lot of yards. They're throwing to him. They're making it work. And I think if you're a Titans fan, you can feel hopeful about that. Hopefully, they're all going to get a boot in the ass. And I love Mike Vrabel because hey, Coach, how you feeling today? I'm real shitty, man. That film was hard to watch. He was straight up like, that was really shitty, man. I was like, me too, Vrabes. Me too. How you doing, Alan?
What's up, Alan? Rangers suck.
But they
We played in the divided South Oklahoma.
But didn't they win? Anyway, so
Fuck.
They still suck.
how quickly is he going to talk about Oklahoma in chat? That's what I want to know.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah.
As fast as the Rangers exit out of the ALCS.
Yeah.
Carlos Rios.
No.
What I saw from highlights and podcasts and stuff like that, it seemed to me that they seemed kind of bedazzled by whatever not by much. It's not like they sat there all game going, would you look at that? But it seemed like they were just kind of on their toes when it came to the Falcons for whatever reason in a crucial time. Please expound upon that. I can only tell you what I've heard from the Ringer podcast and CBS podcast and everything like that, and watching the highlights.
From what I noticed, they were way too conservative on offense. That first drive, you dropped down the field, 4th and 1 inside the 19. Go for it. I don't understand why they kicked the field goal. Like, bro, you're not going to win games kicking field goals. Like, we've gone for it on 4th down inside our own territory. You know, in bad spots, they still went for it on 4th. They were aggressive, and it paid off. And this game, no. And I had a feeling when they kicked that first field goal, like, we're going to lose. As soon as we got that first field goal, like, we're going to lose. I could already see the game plan, conservative, which doesn't make any sense.
I was a little curious about there. It seemed like all the other games, you know, with CJ, that we saw like innovative route running, you know, post routes and stuff like that. This one seemed to go away with, well, we're going to try this kind of short passing game, and it didn't really click, you know.
Yeah. Well, the Falcons, they're top 4 in pass defense. So they didn't want to take too many shots at their secondary, so I can get that. But, like, they tried to force the run too much. Outside of that 115-yard run, like, he was after, like, 3 yards of carry. Like, it's not working. Because basically their offense is similar to San Francisco's zone running scheme. Pierce is not making the right reads. Like, there was one clip where he had green grass in front of him. Instead of going, you know, you would think, you know, easiest path. No, he looked for the defender to hit and, you know, minimize his game. Like, bro, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, this season has been a pretty bad regression for Dameon Pierce. I expect we actually expected a lot higher yardage from him, and basically his total his average yards. Really, right now we're looking at Dameon Pierce. He's sitting at 247 yards, 84 carries, only 1 touchdown, averaging about 2.9 yards a game. That's pretty low for him. I mean, and one of the things that Rio said, it's just there was or any running back. So right now it's like I don't know what's happening with him. His vision is not, you know, side to side or whatever. He's a power running back. I get that.
Right.
But like last game against the last game against Atlanta, the dude basically had where was it? I have the thing.
He had 20 carries for like 61
yards.
Yeah,
like 20. Yeah, exactly. It was really bad. Like he had like 66 yards as a total, but he's been getting like double-digit numbers. All you know, in the last 5 games, that he hasn't had a 100-yard game. Like it's really unexpected, I guess, for me. He had 66 yards, 20 carries, and as long as was a 15, like Rio said.
And the week before, 24 carries, 80 yards.
Yeah, it's bad. Like I haven't seen Pierce just regress like this bad. Now we did blame it at first on the offensive line because this week we got Laramie Tunsil and Titus Howard back, 2 key players. However, I mean they did put Titus Howard at left guard this time as opposed to his regular position at right.
So running left. Yeah.
Right. So
you
would think. So at that point it was still not working. And then Rios brought up the point where he ran into 2 defenders, but he had green grass on the on both sides, left to the right, and he just went straight for it was almost like Trent Richardson like vision at some point. So I'm starting to get concerned. Is it Dameon Pierce or is it the scheme? What's going on? So is it a little bit of both? Like it's almost like what's happening? We got to get it right here, fellas. I would agree with a little bit of both because even though I've been giving Bobby Slowick a lot of credit for his play calling, I think his play calling against Atlanta was very lackluster. It was not
too conservative.
Rio said he went very conservative. I happen to agree with that. It wasn't what we're used to seeing from CJ's play calling. It wasn't the type of runs that you would expect. So I think And maybe it was because I don't know, they were trying to protect CJ at the point where, like Rio said, they have the fourth best defense ranked in pass protection. Is that correct? Atlanta. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing that I wish I would have seen, a little bit more pressure on Desmond Riddler. They made him look great.
Yeah.
He did not. He is not
He got
that
to
great
sit
of a
back
quarterback.
there.
Yeah, he's just sitting back there with all the time in the world, just throwing. He was 28 to 37 for 329 yards. He basically outplayed CJ Stroud. I mean, but that's because the way our defense made him look. He was, and what I hate to say is that there was no pressure. Number one, he was aiming in the middle of the field. So usually Jimmy Ward or Jalen Petrie are on that, but he kept picking apart Jalen Petrie in that game, and I'm a big fan of Jalen Petrie. He picked him apart.
Well, the problem was they're taking advantage of our aggressiveness.
Exactly. So
we were aggressive on defense, and they took advantage of it.
Yeah,
and we're conservative on offense, which is bizarre. It should have been the other way around.
So it didn't balance out correctly. They should have been more aggressive on offense for sure, because kicking field goals is not really going to win you a game. It'll keep you close. It's not going to win you games. So, and that's what happened. They kept it close. It was 19 to 21. The last 40 something seconds. Was it the Falcons? Is it scored a touchdown right towards the end, or was it a field? No, they won it by a field goal. Yeah, they won it by a field goal. I apologize. And so, I mean, you can't win games just by one touchdown and a field goal. Now
they score a touchdown in the first drive. That changed the complexity of the game.
Yeah, the touchdown that CJ Stroud had to Schultz, that was a pretty good one. I'd like to say that was a pretty good play call, but you could have done that all game long, and you didn't. You shot away conservatively.
I thought that was going to be a game. I thought the defense would hold them at the end, but
I thought they were outcoached this game. They were outcoached. Our defense needed to. They kind of got lost somewhere along those. They got picked apart by Desmond Ritter of all people. They needed to they needed to pressure him more. I mean, I get that Will Anderson's just one dude, but you need somebody else to come along and step that up. Like, there was no QB pressure on Desmond Ritter whatsoever. So, yeah, this is an ugly. It was a close game, yes, but to me, it was an ugly loss, just because of what that your team is capable of. And I'll sit here and mess on my team. Like, I don't mind talking on my team because we did it all last season because we knew what the problem is. Now, compared to this season, now we have higher expectations for sure, but it's because we know what they're capable of.
Right.
You went against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who had a pretty good defense, pass rush and all that. You were using second and third string linemen, and you were still able to pull out with a victory. And you basically manhandled TJ Watt. He was non-existent at all in that game. And now it was and then you go against Atlanta and play like that. I mean, the only thing you really have to worry about in Atlanta was containing Bijan Robinson, which they basically did. They did that, but then they abandoned everything else. Yeah, they abandoned everything else. So it's come on, you have to stay consistent, and that's just my thing.
I got you. I mean, look, I could talk to you about that. People need to accept this, especially Titans fans. Derrick Henry did not have a good game against the Colts, and it wasn't because of the O-line. It's because he kept trying to get by people. I think Dallas would agree. There were times he could have shoved guys around, and he just went down. And it's very unlike Derrick Henry, but he has these games kind of like you're talking about with Pierce, where it's just I hate saying this term, soft. You play soft.
SAWFT.
Soft, bro. Soft, bro. Dallas, you have any thoughts about CJ Stroud and the Texans and all that?
I feel like with the Derrick Henry thing while we're on it, Derrick Henry's one of those running backs that he's got to get more carries to get that moment. He gets better as the game goes, like Jonathan Taylor does. I mean, he didn't get enough carries. Like I pointed out last week, he didn't get the 20 carries this week. He didn't get the touchdown. The Titans ultimately lost. But I agree. I like how they're using him a little smarter this year to extend the tread on his tires. But moving back onto the Texan situation. I think CJ Stroud obviously is playing great, and I agree with you guys. The play calling has been a little up and down. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster. Some games you're looking and being really happy with the play calling, and some games like this week you're really confused. And I think that's been a big part of the problem for Dameon Pierce. I mean, at a certain point we're going to run out of excuses for Dameon Pierce. Like I said, we started with the offensive line. Now it's the play calling. When I do look at Dameon Pierce, I did say something on my podcast leading up into the season in fantasy football preparation. was that you saw the usage that they put on Dameon Pierce early in the season really wear on him later on in the season. And he may not be, that running back that can take that 25 carries consistently. They may need to get a 2-punch, even if it's somebody just to take 8 carries a game and alleviate some of that pressure from Dameon Pierce. Because overusing him and overusing him incorrectly is not going to work well for anybody in either situation.
And I think that's what they're trying to do with Singletary. They're trying to. I think at this point
they're going to have to.
Been a little bit more successful. They have been a little bit more successful when they split the carries with Singletary. And I think last week they were just trying to really push it with Dameon Pierce.
Ooh.
And
Xbox made me shit a little bit there. Damn.
That?
My Xbox was like bang, and I was like,
and so that's what that was in the background. No,
yeah,
anyway,
that's what scared the daylights out of me.
Yeah. And so I think that they're probably going to try to split those carries evenly with Singletary, because you need somebody you need a running back that you can throw the ball to sometimes.
Yes.
To execute some of those plays, and Singletary's pretty good at it. I know they were trying to do that a lot in training camp, right, Rios, when we went with Dameon Pierce as well.
He's not a great pass catcher.
He's not a great,
neither is Derek.
Yeah. So, having Singletary definitely helps. I think he's a good addition, but it's going to be to a point where you may not just have that star running back like we thought we were going to have. Dang, I bought the jersey too. Anyway,
I get what you're saying.
Right?
You feel like you were sold a box of false goods, right?
Yeah.
Like,
you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Steve Slayton. His rookie season, great, phenomenal. The next season just fell off a cliff, and this is what it feels like with Pierce almost.
Yeah,
I hate to say it, but it's starting to look that way.
And I hope it doesn't. I hope maybe it's just like them trying to be a little bit more conservative with him. But at this point, I don't see why you would. You really are trying to win as many games as possible.
He's not a good fit as far as the scheme goes. He's not a zone reader. Like with the zone runs, it's about your vision.
Yeah.
Look at Arian Foster. He wasn't a bruiser. He wasn't the fastest running back, but his vision.
Arian Foster was successful in this type of offense because his vision. He had the vision. He had a great vision. We were spoiled with him, right, Riz?
Yeah,
we were spoiled with him.
And Pierce just doesn't have the same type of vision. He's a downhill runner. He's not really. He's a bruiser. He's not. He's not going to make the right reads. He's just going to lower his shoulder and try to run through, and that doesn't work in this scheme. I looked at the PFF grades as far as our linemen. Pass blocking, most of them were B's and A's. Mm-hmm. Run blocking, C's and D's. Like they're not a great run blocking team because that's not what the zone scheme is about. It's about creating enough space for basically your running back has to make the right read and go right through it because that hole closes quick.
It does. We were spoiled with Arian Foster, right, Sam?
Yeah, I guess, bro. That's old
news. Remember?
No, I remember he played at University of Tennessee, bud. Remember?
No. You remember those games against Tennessee and the Texans?
I sure do, bud. Oh, okay. I remember. You remember his names was CJ2K. Oh, what a great time! Anyway,
it was amazing.
Whatever keeps you warm at night, pal. Anyway,
those numbers keep you warm at night.
Anyway, boys, I'm gonna do this little shout out here. If you are a Jaguars fan, and I'm gonna push this video out there and tag Jags in it, and are not a raging asshole, please.
Emphasis on raging.
Yeah, because I am not having any luck finding anybody. So
they barely have any fans as it is. So
yeah, I know. God,
they're all in London.
Hey, Dallas loves me, and that's all I need. Okay. Anyway,
we're gonna have to go across the pond and get some Jags fans.
Anyway, yeah. So Jags go across the pond, and they do it like Dallas Clark said they would. They did it again. They went out there, and the score didn't certainly show it, but I mean, it kind of did at the end there. But it kind of felt like the Jags were a million points ahead, like the entire game. They were just swinging on them.
It was ugly at first. It didn't get good till the fourth quarter. That's when they started turning it on.
Yeah, then they started to make it work. Etienne got loose, started running around like a psychopath. But this is the Bills again. If Josh Allen has a bad game, they're sunk. That's how it is. Dallas, your thoughts?
Man, I definitely I feel like what you were saying with it, feeling like the Jags were a million points ahead. It's because I feel like like the experts were being like really disrespectful to the Jaguars.
Oh yeah,
Like they were really a terrible team. I was seeing reports that they were thinking the Bills could put up 50 points on the Jaguars.
It's like,
And I was just like, man, I hate the Jaguars too, guys. But I mean, let's be realistic here. I know the Bills are good, but they've been stumbling out the gate. And the Jaguars, I mean, they've been playing decently, but good enough to be still, a team that everybody's talking about right now, a team everybody expects to in the AFC South. And like I said, that London is their second home. It was their second week straight in London. I think they really just had a large advantage. And I feel like this was an experiment by the NFL to see how we would look if we had a London team, somebody that could play 2 weeks straight in London while another team is going back and forth in London, seeing kind of the effects that has. We'll see if that's something that happens in the future. But I think the Jaguars looked really good. And I agree with you guys. It was a fairly boring game throughout the most of it at the beginning. I feel like I turned it on and kind of kept dozing in and out on my couch while I was sitting there watching it and drinking some coffee, But like you said, it got interesting around the fourth quarter. But really, the Jags just they did what they needed to do to minimize the Bills' explosive plays. And I feel like the Bills are one of those teams that if they don't have those big chunk plays at certain points in the game, they really struggle to get to matriculate down the field at a very slow pace. And you saw that happen. The Jaguars stopped those big chunk plays, and it stifled the Bills, it stifled Stephon Diggs, it stifled Josh Allen. And like you said, if Josh Allen has a bad game, the Bills really struggle, and that's one of the big reasons.
Yep. And it's funny because Stephon Diggs still got yards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he was still making yards. He didn't have his big time 50-yarders down the field, but like it
was small gains here and there.
Yes. They tried to nickel and dime him, and they paid the price for it.
That's what they struggle. They struggle in that Tom Brady offense.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Most teams do. Like you guys have mentioned, you take away those chunk plays. He struggles hitting those intermediate throws, and he's what, year 5, year 6, like.
Well, if we know the AFC South, just wait till next week. We'll figure out what the hell's happening then.
Yeah, it's like it's so inconsistent, dude. Like every week, there's something happening.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
Sorry, Dallas, we couldn't hear you. One more time. Sorry.
What are we? 3-2, 3-2, and 2-3, 2-3.
Yeah. Yep. That's where we are.
And watch next week. All of us are 3-3.
Yeah, we got to. Somebody's got to win November, right? Somebody's really got to turn on the Jets.
It actually, to be honest with you, I look forward to it just because it finally seems interesting. Even though we're compared to being like one of the worst divisions in football, it's still keeping it interesting because like you don't know. We started thinking right off the bat, Jags are going to take it. Some of us did, but man, right now it's almost anybody's game.
Right. You come out. If you're sluggish, you're sluggish. If you're hot, you're hot. The trick is staying hot as opposed to not falling down.
I will say the closest team has surprised me the most. I think a lot of people wrote them off. I'll admit, I was one of them, and they're one of the most surprising teams in the league right now.
My in-laws
even without AR.
Yeah. My in-laws are all Colts fans, and I had said myself I thought that secondary was way more talented than anyone was giving them any credit for. And then I thought their defense was going to be better than advertised. I expected AR to struggle. Now I didn't expect them, Dallas, to run him up the freaking ground, throw him into the trenches.
It's like, did we not learn from Andrew Luck? Did we not learn?
Do we not learn from any running quarterback? Why do we keep doing this over and over? It just drives me crazy. I mean, like, does anybody really think Lamar Jackson is going to make it through the year? No, I didn't think
so. I have on fantasy.
Well, you got 2-1, right? Oh, here we go.
I got 2 on there also. Yeah.
When I was on the show, I said draft C.J. Stroud. You guys wanted Bryce Young. I'm glad I was right. Go Texans. That's great.
No, we didn't really say Bryce. I think we were 1A or 1B. We were comfortable both. Yeah, Bryce was the first option of course.
Yeah.
But Carlos always the politician, backing it off though.
No, because it's true. We were 1A, 1B. We were like,
even with Amazon, we said the same thing. Like, we're okay with either one. Like, we didn't see CJ as a consolation prize.
Yeah, we were cool with either or. I think we saw Bryce at first because he was at the top, and then once the Panthers moved up, we're like, we're not getting Bryce. We're not getting Bryce at all.
Right.
So we started looking more into CJ. But no, I'm happy, and it's not even that. Like I think when even on our draft show, Rios, we were pretty excited to get CJ. Honestly we were just happy to see the change on there. But yeah, no, I would say mostly like we were excited for either or. It wasn't more like we did one. There was a point where we kind of did one Bryce more, but as time went on, it's like I don't know. CJ's got the height, he's got the accuracy. Bryce, whatever. It was we had high hopes on Bryce, and then they started dwindling down. I guess what more to me at least when the Panthers started moved up.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. Around the league news, guys, the Vikings are done, right?
Or the Vikings.
Stick a fork in them. The season's
Jefferson's
over.
out for what? 4 games, and that's it.
Yep.
That's all they have. They don't have. What do they have after the Justin Jefferson?
Nothing.
That's it.
Oh, it's a sign for everyone.
I like that. Bryce Young will always come up.
Hey, I'll tell you this: C.J. Stroud never lined up at guard and tried to hike the ball. Okay, I'll tell you that. That one was hard to watch on TV. Yeah. I was like, "What's he doing?
What's happening? Oh God, he's doing.
Is this a trick play?"
Also, the thing with Justin Jefferson is he didn't get the contract that he wanted in the offseason. So if the Viking games over these 4, if they don't make any big splashes and lose most of these 4 games, what's his incentive to rush back from this injury and not take more than 4 weeks and he didn't get his money?
Yeah,
right.
I would say we will gladly trade Davis Mills for Justin Jefferson.
I will drive him right now.
Yeah.
Littlefoot, do you know your way to the Hidden Valley? Dallas, we can't hear you.
We can't hear you, but I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
kinda.
So it's not like star wide receivers from the Vikings have a history of leaving or anything like that.
Oh no, of course not.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Anyway, yeah. The 49ers are real.
They're gonna blow that team up.
Yeah, they're gonna clean it out.
I see Cousins getting traded with a deadline. Jefferson's probably gonna sit out the year and leave for free agency.
Yeah,
he'll force his way out.
It's true though. It's true though. Like if you were an athlete like Justin Jefferson, who still has a few years ahead of him, you got this injury for 4 weeks. You know that the team is not going to do good. That you knew that you didn't get the contract that you expected. Why not sit out? If you're him, right? Why not sit out? Why rush back from injury to a team that's basically going to deteriorate, if you will, and then put the barn for sale, I guess. So
or they could tank and try to get Caleb Williams.
But
that'd be enticing for him to stay, though.
I thought Arizona was trying to tank, but they're scrappy out there in Arizona. Damn.
Yeah. But then to go back to your point, Rios, like let's say that does happen, then it probably would be more for him to stay. But if he doesn't, then he could. It doesn't still mean that he still can't sit out the rest of the season, right? Especially coming up an injury. So Cousins getting traded. So Colt, what is it? What was it? Colt McCoy?
I'm sorry.
Colt McCoy worked out for the Vikings. So Cousins getting traded, and to who? Colt McCoy. Wow, is he still in the league?
Wow.
I guess so. Obviously, I like Colt. He's just another one of those Browns castaways.
I think Andrew's a much better quarterback than Colt McCoy.
But as far as where Cousins could go, he's playing pretty well right now. Like, there's a number of teams that don't really have a franchise guy that they are fringe playoff teams. They'd gladly trade for a season or 2 of them.
I'm trying to think of where he would go though.
Jets.
Oh yeah, if they got cap space,
What about the Patriots?
Patriots too.
Now that's intriguing because they can make that work. They can make
they got a good defense. They got players on the key positions. Just Mac Jones sucks.
I just want to hear Bill Belichick going, "I didn't like that." You know what I mean? Like I don't like that. I don't like that. That you did that out there.
Was your Belichick impression?
I guess, dude. I don't know.
He's asking. I wasn't trying to.
Look, it's funny.
Look at my facial hair. Okay, this is what I'm doing.
That's funny. I saw this picture of Belichick at McDonald's, and someone captioned it. He's trying to order a better Mac. I was dying, bro. Like, oh my god.
Clever. All right, next up, the 49ers are for real.
I think so.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely think so.
so.
In shocking news, water is wet.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I was skeptical of Brock Purdy. I'm like, okay, like you caught a lot of teams by surprise. He took over. You know, Shanahan's a good offensive coach or whatnot, even though he's a little stubborn.
Little.
Yeah,
A little,
him
huh?
and his dad. Look, like Shanahan's that type of guy. I was watching somebody diagnosed film on. I can't remember who it was. They're like, if the wheel route's not working the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth time, Mr. Shanahan, it's probably not going to work the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. Like, is how they put it. And he did. He tried it over and over and over and over again. It was
Just like the Kubiak offense, because he's from the Shanahan tree, and they're very stubborn and at times predictable.
Yeah, I get it. But yeah, they're for real. Brock Purdy. I mean, goodness gracious. Mr. Irrelevant indeed. Am I right? He's just out there. He's playing his game. And he's woefully underpaid in playing this game.
Is this the second coming of Tom Brady? Please, God, no. I can't deal with other quarterbacks winning 6-7 Super Bowls.
Well, he has more personality than the cardboard box that is Tom Brady. But, freaking Tommy.
Purdy, dude. I like Purdy.
I do too.
I have no I can't find anything like Purdy suck. Whatever. No, I don't, because I actually like that. The underdog story.
They're gonna find tortured puppies in his basement or something.
No, please God, no. And so I just can't like.
The Vikings.
Yeah, right. I like the odds of the 49ers. I think they're a real deal. I don't see any NFC team getting close to them right now. I really can't.
I can't either.
And I hate to say
even
it.
The Eagles, I'm like,
even the Eagles, dude. Eagles.
Well, they're struggling, but they're starting to get it together, and they got a legit running back because Swift is looking like the real deal.
Yeah,
I mean, to call it 5 and team struggling is kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the Eagles are just baffling to me because it seems like no matter how many times they fumble or turn over the ball, they're just going to win this game somehow. It's
which is scary because they're undefeated. They're struggling. Imagine them clicking on all cylinders. Like, how do you stop that?
Yeah, pretty much. They're like, well, I guess we'll win the game now. Okay.
All right. Time to flip the switch.
Right. Now we talked about the 49ers. We talked about the Vikings. The Packers, man. Oh, my goodness. What a fall. That's a long way down.
Packers. I'm going to say Packers. Packers?
Well,
Jordan Love, huh? Jordan Love is him.
How many more games are they going to lose with Jordan Love before they pass the ball to, like, Sean Clifford and say, maybe you've got something? Because this guy doesn't. That guy is in it. Now, I'm not saying they should bench Jordan Love or anything. By all means, carry out whoever you need to carry out if it gives you the best chance to win. But the Packers were supposed to be a little better than this, and they are just. Well,
I think the problem is that the Aaron Rodgers effect. Whatever they've been, the formula that's been successful with Aaron Rodgers is not working with Jordan Love. Aaron Jones has been out. A.J. Dillon has been putrid. Their offensive line has been terrible. Christian Watson, Romeo Dubes, Jalen Reed, they've been decent. Defense has been terrible. But it's I don't care who you roll out, that Packers team is going to suck. Unless it's Aaron Rodgers.
I think what bothers me most about it is LaFleur's supposed to be this whiz kid. And it looks like he didn't change his offense to suit Jordan Love at all. It's just kind of like, all right, do what Aaron did.
It worked for Rodgers.
It's like, I don't know. They're playing very uninspired football, I think.
I think what it is, like, they saw for years Aaron Rodgers succeeded with, no real, like, I thought of Davante Adams. He didn't have, like, nobody else. No, and they figured, we can do it with these guys. And as you saw, it didn't work for Aaron Rodgers last year. Not working this year with Love.
Yeah, and guys, we're looking at a Detroit team that is on freaking fire, who are out to dominate everybody, and who are listening to Coach Campbell make another murder euphemism about winning. And
biting people in the knee.
Well, no, like every time that guy, he creeps me out because he's like, we're going to drag them in the middle of the ocean and watch the life go out of their eyes as we drown them. And I'm like, geez, dude.
I mean, if my coach said that, I'm ready to run through a wall for this guy.
I guess, but at the same time, I'm like, cool. Like, you know, and then he said something recently like, you go talk about my team, we'll show up on your porch. And now I'm like looking at my porch constantly. Like, please don't show up on my porch. Please.
He's giving them an identity and they're embracing it. And I mean,
they are. Yeah.
Lights out.
Yeah, I feel like when they take the field, it should be the Halloween theme on the piano. You know,
right?
Terrifying individuals. We all got upcoming games. I'm going to London. I mean, I'm not going to London. I'm going to watch it from my hotel room after the wedding, probably on my way to the airport, listening to it. You know what? I'm not going to watch it. I'm just going to have to listen to it on the way back to the airport so I can go home. After Carlos leaves me high and dry and steals my rental car and parks it somewhere, I have no idea where it's at.
You in it. With you in it.
Titans and Ravens. Of course,
in Mexico.
Of course, I don't feel good about this game. There's
Hola, Eagles.
Right. Jeez. Anyway.
El Wise.
Wow. Y'all are damaging people. Anyway.
They're like Canelo? Is that you?
Oh my God.
Big Red.
You destroyed my rented Toyota Yaris, you bastard. Anyway. So I don't feel good about this Ravens game like anybody should. But if the Titans show me anything, the only one consistent thing they're consistent at is being inconsistent. So please stop the run this week, you know, and don't let some purple-headed rat bird just run your ass over. That would be freaking fantastic, I'll tell you that. Carlos Rios, who you got coming up?
We got the Saints on Sunday, man.
Whoa, Daniel's going to want it. Daniel's going to want it so bad.
Yeah.
Today, man.
Oh, man. He's like, I would never lose to the Saints. And I'm like, well, goodness sake, what happened? Something happened to Daniel and Saints fans. Like, something terrible happened to that man. Oh. Yeah, but anyway, you feel good about it? Yeah?
You know, I almost feel kind of like how I felt about the Atlanta game. Is there's so many things that, like, you know, that I feel like the Texans did at the Atlanta game that kind of make me get a little worried about this one. When we played Atlanta, I said if we lose it is because we can't stop the running game. I didn't expect it because the defense give up that many amount of yards on the pass protection. I mean,
to Desmond Ridder of all people.
Yeah, to Desmond Ridder of all people, which kind of worries me a little bit because what if we don't adjust? I don't think that's going to happen again because I
know how you feel.
Defense. But if we don't adjust, then we may start seeing a recurrent pattern, you know?
Yeah.
And then that's going to be that's because you know for sure the Saints are going to be watching that film. They're going to be watching how the Texans were able to hold, how the Falcons were able to hold CJ Stroud to just one touchdown. You know, they're going to be watching, they're going to be watching how Dameon Pierce was held to that many yards. I mean, honestly, they're gonna see how to basically make CJ one dimensional. Tank Dell went out with a concussion. I'm not sure if he's back in yet or he might not even be there.
He's still in the 5-step protocol, so it's something to monitor throughout the week. So we'll see.
Yeah. So if Tank Dell is not there, then that's one less weapon that CJ Stroud has to work with, and
without him, the offense was completely different.
Very lackluster, right?
They struggled.
It completely changed. Don't get me wrong. I know we have John Mechie in there, but it also depends how much they're going to use him on there. So he's. I don't know. I still haven't really fully seen what to expect of Mechie because yes, he has a few plays here and there, but they don't really use him a lot. Maybe they might turn it up with Tank, but I mean, we didn't really see much of that last week, right, Rios? After Tank left,
different offense
for CJ were just Dalton Schultz here and there, Robert Woods, and I feel like they were trying to do the most with Robert Woods also. And I mean, Robert Woods is not shouldn't be considered your wide receiver one. You
Nope.
did have Nico there.
I learned that last year.
Right, I'm sure you did. And
well, the
so,
problem
and I
was,
get it.
was
He
Nico was getting
dropped more
shadowed by.
passes than anyone on the team.
Yeah.
He was getting shadowed by Tyrell, so he shut him down basically.
He did. Yeah, Nico was shut down. So it was just one of those things where we're gonna have to see if it's anything like if the Texans start doing the whole field goal thing again, like they did against the Falcons. I don't see us coming out with a win. It's a winnable game. I think it's a winnable game. I don't trust Derek Carr that much. But
Or should you?
The Texans are with Bijan, I think they are able to stop the run, but you also have to be consistent in how do you call it in pass coverage. So I don't know. The secondary has to step it up too. Yes, they're aggressive. Yes, but now there's film on how to potentially stop you or where your weak spots are have been exposed now. So it's all about adjustment. If you can adjust to the Falcon game, if you can adjust the what you did in the Falcons game to the Saints, I think you're in good shape. But if you start making CJ one-dimensional, again, you're already one receiver down, and it's a good one too. Then that Dameon Pierce isn't going to be that much of a threat. I don't know. I honestly don't see us having a good game if we just completely keep doing field goals again and again. If Fairbairn has the most offensive points, we're in for a big long day. It'll be close if that's the case, but I don't see us coming out with a win if we just do nothing but field goals. That's all I got to say.
You obviously never had Jeff Fisher as your coach. I've won so many games off Ron Baronis' foot. So many. Oh, my gosh. We have, ladies and gentlemen, a revenge game for Mr. Dallas Clark, and it's a double revenge game. Minshew going against the team that just spurned him, and Dallas wants to take that crown off the Jaguars' head. Are you going to do it, Dallas? You going to take him away?
I definitely think so. Honestly, this is probably the first most important game of the year for the Colts. The next one in the division is going to be the Texans. We fortunately were able to get that win against Tennessee. So right now, being tied for first with the Jaguars, them having that one game advantage, if we do beat them, not only do we go up with the record advantage, but we also then tie the division series. So because if the AFC South has taught us anything over the last decade, is that when it comes to those last 3 or 4 games, you're gonna be looking at those tiebreakers really in depth. So unfortunately, we're taking care of that tiebreaker in week 7 or week 6, and it's coming early, but we really need to get this one done. And I definitely think we can. Looking at Zach Moss playing the way he's been playing, Jonathan Taylor hopefully being a larger part of the offense, and Gardner Minshew is nothing to sneeze at, man. He's been playing pretty good. He's one of the best backup quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm liking it. Like you said, for a revenge game too, he's got something to prove against Jacksonville as well. So I'm liking everything that we got going this week. Plus them coming off that 2-week stint in London. Hopefully we get that advantage of the lack of rest and the changed time clocks and things for them because they were there for so long. So I definitely think we have the advantage on the Jags this week.
Maybe you'll see Minshew in Minnesota.
Oh yeah.
Or
Florida man out to destroy Florida.
Or the Pats.
He's going to run into the stadium on a gator.
That's just what Minshew reminds me of. He looks like Florida man. Like every newspaper that says Florida man,
I picture Minshew.
There he is. Well, gentlemen, thank you for being on the show tonight. It's been fun. It's Tuesday. It was fun to talk about Dan. It was fun to talk football with you fellas.
We punching anyone?
Oh, my goodness.
Come on, Sam. This is your whole thing.
Punchable moan. Who's your most punchable face? Dallas. Who's getting punched?
Dak Prescott. Dakota Prescott from the Dallas Cowboys, man. He was playing absolutely terrible. And then when you look at that, I think it was like second or third interception he threw. They're losing 31-10 or something crazy. And they go to the slow motion before commercial, and he's got a big-ass smile on his face. What are you happy for? Y'all are getting beat down. You threw yet another interception. I'm not going to lie to you. Dak Prescott's looking at the end of his days in the Cowboys, and that just made me mad. Like, not even as a Cowboys fan, just as a football fan, like, I'd be mad to see C.J. Stroud do that to the Texans. I'd be mad to see Trevor Lawrence. You throw 2-3 interceptions. We're losing by 3 scores, and you're smiling after. I mean, that's unacceptable.
And how's your fan base supposed to take that, too? You know what I'm saying? Like, no.
You jacked it up.
I don't think so. Carlos.
This one's good. I think Reels will agree with me on this one. To every fan out there, every baseball fan out there that still can't get over the 7 years of the Astros, the 5 years of the Astros, you know what? It's okay. We're going to be in the ALCS. We might be in the World Series. But guess what? We still live rent-free in your head. So get over it. It's over with. Astros are the team to beat. October Invitational. If you still think the Astros are cheating, they live rent-free in your head, son. You deserve to get punched.
Cheaters.
Like Thanos says, destiny comes all the same.
Rios. Punch him. Who you punching?
Man, Carlos stole mine, so I got to think of another one now.
Me, if you want. I know you're so angry.
No, this week,
come on, there's got to be somebody out there.
Carlos Correa?
Nah.
No.
All right, I'll go while you
come back to me.
I'll go while you think about it. Josh freaking McDaniels, man, what a dickwad! Like, yeah, acting like he had anything to do with that victory out there is absolutely pathetic. I mean, Jordan Love's out there making Christmas come early, and he's out there still making shitty-ass decisions like sending your kicker out there again who's obviously having a bad night, and sending him out there for a 53-yarder like that's going to change anything. Josh McDaniels is a terrible coach. The Raiders are not going to get any better until he's walking away. But according to his owner, who also has a very punchable face and a horrible haircut, you got to think smarter. You got to think smarter. Smarter for what? Smarter for what? How long are they going to put up with this? I mean, come on. So, Josh McDaniels, I'm going to punch you in the nose. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt.
All right, I got one now. Parsons. So after that, Michael Parsons, the Cowboys. After that beatdown, he said the Niners and the Cowboys are on the same level. Sir, you lost by 30-plus points. It was never close. And then he was like, "Oh, we took it personal." Like, I would hope so.
All right, Michael Jordan, I took it personally. Come on.
Not Dak Prescott though, because he was smiling.
No.
I would be absolutely.
No, but the funniest part, so they interviewed Deebo Samuels today, and he was like, he was just cracking up on them, like, bro, like, they don't even take you serious.
No.
We won by 30 this time. Next time's going to be worse.
We have to live, like, I'm very lucky and fortunate that Dallas Clark is a awesome dude and a good fan. But, like, even if he wasn't, to the victor go the spoils. Am I right? I mean, that's the name of the game. This is a game of intimidation. This is a game of glory. And like, you need to realize, like, by getting your ass kicked, you realize where you are in the pecking order and how you can get better. Like, losing is important. It is important in football. It's important in life. It's important in a lot of things. But it seems like every year these guys coming into the league or whatever need to be taught again. Like, you're going to get humbled. You're going to get humbled.
Especially with the Dallas Cowboys players and fans. They just live in this false reality.
Yeah, I know. Don't get me started. I can't wait till I land in that airport on Thursday. Good God Almighty!
Not good.
Our year for almost 30 years. It's our year.
Are you going to be wearing your Titans gear?
I don't know. Maybe I'm dressing up for it.
Wear the boa. Wear the boa. Do it.
Oh no. I think I've heard stories about this. Man goes missing.
Dude, I wore my Astros gear last weekend when I went to Dallas for a wedding, so it's okay.
Yeah, when we went to Cowboy Stadium, I had my gear on. I had my Astros gear on. They made some trash can jokes like, yeah, only trash can be is the Rangers.
Well, I'm heading to a bachelor party immediately, so I might dress up all pretty, you know.
There you
go. Wear the boa.
Yeah, the 6 boas.
Look at my curl.
I know you all don't like my new walking stick, but I got to be me. Anyway, so that's all the time we got tonight. Thank you for putting up with our insanity. Gentlemen, thank you for coming on. I'm Mr. First Down. I'm Sam Dean. This is Carlos, Dallas, Rios.
America's team right here.
We will see you all next Tuesday to talk about the insanity that is the AFC.